Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. It's that time of the week again. It's Premier League predictions time, the first predictions video of 2025. We are entering into the second half of the Premier League campaign. The table is taking shape, the fixtures are coming thick and fast and having more pressure heaped onto them with each and every single passing game. And of course, this is the video where we're going to be looking at the next round of Premier League fixtures, talking about them, analysing them, and of course giving predictions on how I think each and every single game will turn out in another round of exciting Premier League encounters. Before we get into all of that though, I would like to remind you to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That will show me for great interest in reading. But of course, more importantly, people, I am looking for your predictions as well. Get involved with your predictions down below because after all, where would a Premier League predictions video be without predictions? Get involved, people. Would love to hear from you all. Use and abuse that comment section and talk to me on how you think each and every single game will turn out in another round of exciting and intriguing Premier League action. Right, now that's out of the way and done with. Let's get on with the video. Let's talk Premier League fixtures. And first up, we've got a massive game coming up. Saturday lunchtime. Tottenham Hotspur taking on Newcastle. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Saturday lunchtime kickoff. And I've gone with a 3-1 victory to Newcastle. Now, Newcastle are in fine form right now. They are high-flying, 5th in the table. They are going strong. Alexander Isak is in incredible form right now. And they're coming up against a Tottenham side who drew 2-2 with Wolves last time out. They stopped a little bit of a rot they were on. But it's safe to say that their performances haven't exactly been thrilling. Their performances haven't exactly lived up to expectation of the fans. And their results, well, left a lot to be desired as well. This is a Tottenham side that are struggling with injuries, but that should not be as a massive excuse. It's a factor, but not a massive excuse as to why they are dropping so many points and why the club finds themselves in the bottom half of the table. They're coming against the Newcastle side in fine form. Like I say, they're playing some really good stuff right now. Their midfield is gelling. Their star striker is in red-hot form right now. I think this could be a bloodbath for Spurs if they don't play their cards right. I'm going with Newcastle to win. I'm going 3-1 to the Magpies and Eddie Howe's side to come out on top in this huge lunchtime encounter. Next up, Aston Villa taking on Leicester in a Midlands clash. And I've gone with a 2-0 win to Aston Villa. Now, it's not a foregone conclusion. We know that Villa tends to slip up this season in these types of scenarios, in these types of games. However, I do think when you judge the quality of play, the clinicalness in finishing at the attacking end of the pitch for both sides, Aston Villa should have enough about them to get the 3 points. Villa should also have enough to maybe neutralise Leicester in key areas to stop them from attacking as much. I've gone 2-0 to Villa, but it's not exactly a foregone conclusion. And obviously Leicester definitely need points on the board here. So any kind of help for them would be required. They did actually manage, I know they lost 2-0 to Manchester City last time out, but Leicester did actually manage to get a few good attacks going in that game and were somewhat unfortunate not to have at least scored and maybe changed the game somewhat against Pep Guardiola's side. But Aston Villa, I just think they'll have too much about them to get across the finish line and to win this particular game. Next up, Vitality Stadium awaits the arrival of Everton as they travel away to Bournemouth. And I've gone with a 2-0 win in favour of the Cherries. Now, Andoni Areola's side are flying high this season, doing extremely well. And this is the kind of game that they have slipped up on in the past, but it's one that I think they can navigate their way around this time. At home, Bournemouth are strong. Bournemouth are competent. And I just think that they will have enough about them to deal with Everton's threats. If they move the ball quickly and they can break down a solid and disciplined defensive structure that Sean Dyche presents, Bournemouth will have no problem in creating opportunities. It will just be about taking them, which I think if they create enough, they will do. Everton don't necessarily score too many goals, but they are still a threat from counter-attacks, from set pieces, and that can obviously hurt and be the Achilles heel of Bournemouth. However, I just think Bournemouth will have enough about them, and enough in the final third especially, to get past this game, get across the finish line, and get the 3 points that they desperately need. Bournemouth to win is what I'm going for in this one. Next up, we are off to Selhurst Park for Crystal Palace and the arrival of Chelsea. And I've gone with a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Now, of course, Chelsea are in bad form coming into this one. They have not won in the last 3. They lost 2-0 to Ipswich last time out. It's been a pretty rough, festive period for Enzo Maresca's side. Palace, hit and miss. We know their story. We know that they are a bit up and down. And we know that obviously on their day there can be a thorn in the side of anybody, especially the bigger teams in the league. And especially with them being at home as well. You wouldn't put it past this Palace side to get something from this game. Hell, they did earlier on in the campaign. They went away to Chelsea and got something there. So it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility for them to get something there. However, I just think that with time on the training ground, time to reflect, time to maybe let that reality check that they've had over the past couple of weeks set in, I think that Chelsea could very well get back to winning ways in this game. I'm going 2-1 to Chelsea, but I'm not entirely confident with this scoreline. I'm not entirely confident with the result either. Palace certainly could get something in this one, but I'm just going to give Chelsea the edge due to the quality that they have in the individuals of their team. Next up, Etihad. Manchester City, they battle West Ham United, and I've gone with a 3-1 win to Man City. Now, I think it is going to be I think it's going to be basically the quality in finishing that is going to settle this one. I think both teams can create chances. As I mentioned earlier, last time out, City stopped the rot. City got a very much needed win against Leicester, but they didn't half ride their luck at times. Leicester had a few decent opportunities on goal that they just didn't take. West Ham can certainly create those opportunities against City. This is a City side that defensively are all over the place, defensively in chaos and disarray, and West Ham can take advantage of that. But the story of West Ham's season has been they leak stupid goals and they don't take their opportunities. And I feel like that's what could be their Achilles heel in this game. City will give you opportunities. There's no doubt in my mind about that. City will give you opportunities. And I think West Ham will get opportunities, even with their star man Jarrod Bowen being out, sidelined with injury. They will still get opportunities, but it's whether or not they can take them. And obviously City at the other end, they will definitely get opportunities. Teams carve West Ham open at will. And I just think it's going to be about whether or not the finishing is going to be there for either of these two teams. And I think it will be more on City's favour than in West Ham's. I'm going 3-1 to City. I'm pretty confident City will get back-to-back wins for the first time in a long time. But there is something there for West Ham to at least cling on to and hope that maybe, just maybe, they can get something from this game. I'm not entirely confident with it, but there's a little bit of hope there. Next, we're off to St Mary's for Southampton's game against Brentford, and I've gone with a 3-1 win to Brentford. Now, this is the kind of favourable game that Brentford will be licking their lips at. Southampton, rock bottom of the table, only taken 6 points from their opening 19 games. That is absolutely atrocious, and there is a big gap developing between themselves and even 19th, regardless of actually getting out of the drop zone. It does seem like the writing is a little bit on the wall for this Southampton side, but with a new manager in tow, a last kind of roll of the dice of the season, who knows what the second half of the season can bring. But they come up against the Brentford side, who didn't exactly have the best of festive periods, but We know that on their day, they can be a tough nut to crack. They can be very, very strong. And going forward on the counter-attack especially, with the likes of Brian Mbeumo and Johan Visser, we know that they can be deadly and lethal on the counter. It's going to be very interesting to see how this game pans out. I feel like Brentford's press is going to have to be on point here because they could press Southampton into making some very horrific and very dangerous mistakes defensively. And that is why I have gone with the Bees to win. I think the Bees will get the 3 points. It's not in the realms of possibility for Southampton to get something, especially when they're at home. But, like I say, their form hasn't exactly been great. And that's an understatement. So, Brentford to win is what I'm going for in this one. Next up, we have got a cracking game in our Saturday evening encounter between Brighton and Arsenal at the Amex Stadium. I've gone 2-1 to the Gunners. The Gunners coming into this one in fine form. They're still chasing Liverpool. I feel like when the pressure is off Arsenal, that is when they can flourish. That is when they can go about their business with a sort of arrogance and a sort of swagger that we've seen in the past few games. That is where Arsenal really turn it on. But it's when the pressure gets to Arsenal, that's when I feel like they start to crack under pressure. That's where they start to drop points to the likes of Fulham, to the likes of Everton in recent weeks. This one again, Brighton are going to be a tough opposition. There's no doubt about it. Brighton are obviously going to be tough for anybody with the way that they play. And I feel like with Arsenal not wanting to sit back, obviously that could play into Brighton's hands a little bit. But I just don't see it being a problem for Arsenal because as much as they will play out, Brighton will also try to play out. Brighton will try and play their natural game, and that could obviously work to the benefit of Arsenal as well. So I'm anticipating a very exciting, very intriguing game here. I'm hoping Brighton gets something from this game. Of course I am. I would love anything and everything to go the way of Liverpool and just give us any sort of extra boost and extra helping towards, obviously, a Premier League title race. But this is a big opportunity for Arsenal, especially with Liverpool playing the day after. A big opportunity for Arsenal to lay down a statement and obviously go to the Amex away from home and get something over Brighton. Not going to be easy. Brighton are still tough opposition. We know that. But I think the quality of finishing, quality from set pieces as well, being in their back pocket as their not-so-secret weapon, will do Arsenal wonders. So I'm going with 2-1 to the Gunners. Mikel Arteta's side to pick up the 3 points in this one. Moving on to Sunday's games, and first up we are at Craven Cottage for Fulham against Ipswich, and I've gone with a 2-1 win to Fulham. I'm intrigued with this one. Ipswich, of course, picked up a massive win there in their last game against Chelsea. Massive win there for the away side, albeit slightly fortuitous, some may say, but a win is a win nonetheless. They're coming against a Fulham side who have been pretty strong this season. It's going to be a very interesting battle. I think Craven Cottage, them being at home, I give Fulham the edge in this one. I think with the likes of Raul Jimenez playing, I think with likes of Alex Iwobi in pretty good form as well. I think Fulham will have enough quality about them to not only score a couple of goals, but to also see the game out, control the game out to a victory. But that's not to say that Ipswich can't lay a glove on them. We know that obviously Liam Delap has been in some fine form this season. They've got a lot of workhorses in that midfield as well. So I'm anticipating a very intriguing game for this one, and not maybe one that's as foregone a conclusion as it may say on paper. But I still would go with the favourites, just because they're at home, just because they have the extra little bit of quality that I think would be needed to control and see the game out, especially if they go ahead. Fulham will definitely win this game. 2-1, Fulham is my prediction here. The penultimate game on this list is Monday night's game between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Nottingham Forest, the first Monday night game, of the new year. And I've gone 2-0 to high-flying Nottingham Forest. Who'd have thought that Nottingham Forest would be in the same conversation as Champions League football, potentially, for this season? Nuno Espirito Santo has done absolute wonders with this club this season. Forest are flying high. Their defensive record is absolutely solid as a rock. And going forward, they are looking deadly every time they go forward. The creativity of the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, alongside the work rate and, ball winning abilities of the likes of Ryan Yates and Elliot Anderson, have been absolutely tremendous to watch. Elanga on one side, Callum Hudson-Odoi on the other, absolutely lightning quick and dangerous. And then, of course, you've got Chris Wood, who's bagging goals for fun. One of the most deadly strikers in the Premier League right now. And no one ever in their right mind would have thought they'd be saying that when, of course, he made his move from Newcastle to Forest. And then defensively, Matt Sells has arguably been the best goalkeeper this season so far. Milenkovic has bedded in really well, and the partnership that he's developed with Murillo has been nothing short of exceptional. Ola Aina, right back's been brilliant. And it's just been fantastic to watch. It really has been fantastic to watch Forest develop this season. And I think it's only going to continue. It's a favourable game against Wolves. Granted, they've not actually lost a game, I don't think, since their new manager's come in. So it's not exactly going to be an easy game for Forest, especially with them being away from home. But I would probably expect former Wolves player Morgan Gibbs-White to maybe have a bit of a say in the swing of this game. So I'm going with Forest to win. I'm going with Forest to continue their fine form. That's not to say Wolves can't get anything from this game, of course, but I think also the absence of Mateus Cunha, who'll be obviously facing suspension, will be a massive blow to this Wolves side. So I'm giving Forest the win in this one, and I'm going to say 2-0 to Nuno Espirito Santo's side. And finally, in what I believe to be the biggest game of this round of fixtures, still the biggest game in world football in my opinion, definitely the biggest game in England. The main event of this upcoming round of Premier League fixtures will see Liverpool take on Manchester United at home at Anfield, and I'm going with a modest 2-0 victory to Liverpool. Now, all week I've been hearing and seeing people say this should be an absolute walk in the park for Liverpool. This should be an absolute bloodbath in Liverpool's favour. Man United are going to get slapped and slapped hard by this Liverpool team. And there's a part of me that thinks that that could be the case and that could become a reality. However, I am never confident, as I maybe should be, with these types of games. I am never, ever, ever confident to the fullest with these types of games that I'm going to predict a 4, 5, 6-0 battering. Because of experience. And of course, this being a derby. This being a bit of a derby, so form goes out the window. How many times have you heard that when these two teams clash? Experience. I've seen worse Liverpool sides, terrible Liverpool sides, go and face Manchester United at the peak of their powers and manage to get something from those games. I know we're at home. I know we're in scintillating form right now. I know that we are top of the table. I know that we're 6 points clear of Arsenal. I know all of this stuff. And yet, I still fear that an upset could potentially be on the cards with these types of games. Which is why I don't go too early. I don't try and brag about it, or I don't try and think that the game is won without a ball being kicked. I go into it with a level-headedness and just a hope that we do this professionally, we do this properly, and of course, with us being at home, I'm pretty sure we will get the job done. I'm pretty sure of that. But like I say, I'm not ruling out the possibility of Man United magically on the day remembering how to play football, Onana channeling his inner Manuel Neuer and being absolutely unstoppable in front of goal, United learning how to defend and stopping from making stupid mistakes, their midfield being absolute workhorses, being physical, wanting to actually battle for the ball, and then their strikers turning into, you know, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and prime Lionel Messi back in the day. Like, I am not under the illusion that that couldn't potentially happen. But I'm still going to back my team. I'm still going to obviously say that Liverpool win this one. And it'll be big if we do. Regardless of whether or not United are in form or not. It's still going to be big. It's still going to be a huge result. And it's still going to mean a lot to Liverpool, the players, the fans, the coaches, the manager, everybody associated with Liverpool Football Club. If, of course, we do win. If United win, it'll be massive. And let's face it, they did beat Manchester City a few weeks ago in spectacular, very late fashion. So again, you can't take anything for granted. But it's hard to say Liverpool won't do it, especially when you see the likes of Van Dijk being insane right now. McAllister's in red-hot form. Gravenberch has been phenomenal all season so far. Luis Diaz is in really good form. Cody Gakpo's in fantastic form. And of course, Mohamed Salah's the GOAT. So it's hard to say that Liverpool won't win and won't win pretty comfortably. But at the same time, it is a derby. Form goes out the window. And you never know with these types of games. I'm going with Liverpool to win 2-0. Fingers crossed we do it. And we do it professionally and properly. There we have it. And there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of each and every single game to come up in the next round of Premier League fixtures? Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, feelings. But most of all, of course, I want to know your predictions down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think and feel about all of that, and use and abuse that comment section to your will, people. I want to know what you think the outcomes of each and every single Premier League game will go this upcoming weekend. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Thank you all for your either brand new or continued support. If you are brand new, welcome along to the channel. Hope you are enjoying it. Thank you for supporting me and the channel. Very much appreciated. And of course, if you are continuing your support, still, likewise, thank you. Really appreciated. Will never ever be taken for granted. You guys are absolutely awesome. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League predictions video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.